Hey there, holy guacamole. We're just gonna have a quick discussion. I'm gonna have to turn off my damn air conditioner. I know the discussion will be about how did he do it? He came from the other side, man. I know that's so unprofessional, but I refuse to edit stuff. My discussion is going to be about what it is that keeps you coming to comics. By the by, what keeps me coming to YouTube? You, you, and a tube, aka a camera. Hey, I'll come back for you guys, man. I love to come back for you guys to chat. And I love the format of just expressing yourself and not having to edit yourself. That's really what I'm looking for from YouTube. Just to be myself, just be accepted, just to have conversations about comic books, which I don't otherwise get to. It looks like my old school dog needs to get down. He's really old and has an injured leg, this little guy. Little Mr. Jake. So I'll put him down. All right. What keeps me coming back after that damn minute? Sorry, guys. Keeps you coming back to comics, to the hobby, to nerdism. Well, I'll tell you one thing it's not. It's not, to start with, Comic Cons. Because Comic Cons are more like nerd cons at this point. And really, you don't get a chance to even see any comics or get a good price on them or nothing or meet any talent like what you're really probably looking for. So, what keeps me coming back a lot of the time would be conversations with you guys. Great talent of different various skills and styles, such as people like Jim Lee, or people like the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel, or people like old Frank Miller, which was also, by the way, if it was something like Dark Knight, it's actually Klaus Jensen, a lot of it, or people like Neil Adams, people like Salvador LaRocca, Ed McGuinness, Joe Madureira. These are just great artists. And then when it comes to stories, well, a lot of the time, funny enough, epic stories have to be earned. So a lot of the current stories don't really do a lot for me, where you just jump right into another script basically for a movie, another six-parter being written for the trade. I prefer, when it comes to that kind of thing, something more like the old school X-Men from the 90s and 80s, where it was character-based. So a character-based story often catches me. I'll go back and I'll read my old 80s and 90s books and I'll really enjoy them. Nostalgia. Getting a little older myself. Not really genuinely older. I'm only in my 30s, in my early 30s at that. So anyway, but it all depends on the day when it comes to that kind of stuff. Different things, different styles. I do love a good epic tale back when they were something along the lines of the Ultimates or the Authority or Planetary or something great like that really caught my attention a lot of the time. Ultimate Fantastic Four, Ultimate Spider-Man, a lot of those old school issues like that. And America's Best Comics like Tom Strong and Promethea and Top 10, awesome stuff like that really caught me. And then CrossGen was coming out at the same time frame. So there was a lot of stuff right then that that was like the dawn of the well-written books. And that stuff really catches my eye. And a lot of Grant Morrison and a lot of Alan Moore and a lot of people like Jeff Lemire these days wise, people like that. So when we're going to go to that, what keeps me coming back? Yeah, Jeff Lemire, Matt Kent, people like that. Donnie Cates. There's some really good talent out there still. Joshua Williamson, Christopher Priest, Brian Hill. When it comes to writers, there are great, fantastic ones. Peter Tomasi, certainly not Mr. Bendis or Mr. King. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not here to pick on him either. I'm not even a huge fan of, and I know it's a controversial thing to say, but I'm not a huge fan of Scott Snyder per se. I think he's all right though. He never really pisses me off or nothing. He does a fine job. But another thing that keeps you coming back is being able to just lay them out, sort of take a look at different time frames of your life. When you lay out your comics, if you're looking at the oldest ones you have, you might even get a nostalgic feeling of your youth. So, there's something about, it's almost like a picture in a window to time, because you might get a flash of a memory. You might remember, like I do, with the old Amazing Spider-Mans by Eric Larson, getting it gotten for me by my father. It was wonderful of him. He brought it to me, from his old days back in probably 1990, 1989, 1991, somewhere in there. But whenever, I guess, Eric Larson was working on Spider-Man, but bringing it back from the Toy Con and just having a book or two for me, for my brothers. My sister wasn't even born yet. It's a good time to be alive, man. So getting brought back to that thing, then if I go back and I look at, like I said, my CrossGen books, I'll get brought back to that time of my life. It was a really good, smooth time. Then there's, other things like nowadays, and I'll look at that, and I can't lie, a little bit. Maybe it's because the world's a little bit hostile these days that it doesn't give me quite as much joy to look at the modern stuff. But my tool to get through that is I'll just support the indies, the things that I really enjoy, read my old books, or go back and go through the old boxes and fill in some runs. I'm often filling in runs. Sometimes I'll just hit up the old dollar boxes and enjoy that. I just feel like a lot of the time, Marvel and DC these days, I don't necessarily need to own, so I'll just read them digitally. Read 'em, oh, yep, this is the hands of a working man. Shit all over him, excuse me, but not literal shit. I ain't no, nasty dude, but just thought I'd put out there a quick video on the subject and mention a little bit of stories about my life, and so we can get to know each other a little further. I really appreciate you guys, and if you want to share below the things that keep you coming back to comics, what is it that got you in the first place? What is it that got you now? What is it? Is it just an addiction? Hey, I doubt it. It's probably a very nice addiction if so. So, Gregor Black signing out. I just thought I'd ask you a good question and explain a little bit about my situation. So, there's collecting to me. It's not about money. It's not about getting rich. It's about enjoying the stories. I guess I'm more of a reader, reading for the read, than collector thinking I need 15 different covers and that it's going to somehow get me rich off it. So, you guys have a great day. Take care.